One thing that I want to use this new space in the Grainger Market for is to display what other artists and local kind of small press producers do in the city. So what I've got here is my first collection of available comics to browse. I'm going to just quickly talk you through what's available here so far. There's lots more to come. So, begin. Mallard Small Press, Durham guys, probably moved away now, but they've got more than the one. Little kind of like a very nice, neat, clear, black and white, interesting kind of like slice of life stories. Various things about myself. One's about a walk down the beach. One's about the coffee shops in Newcastle. Different sketches done by different people, including some of the people who've also produced different kind of comics that I'm going to show you now. Not very well produced in the end. Never quite published it. 24-hour comic, where you have 24 hours to produce a comic, normally 24-page comic. I was travelling at the time, was in Helsinki. A little Boffy zine, again, it's about a walk and draw that I did, so I was kind of like walking and sketching and recording the boffies that I was staying in around Kielder and Norfolk Moors and the lakes and so on. We've got things by Mike Jeffries, who goes by various names, also Bassarids, often kind of cut and paste, quite funny. He's done loads more. There's one of his there and one here, both available for sale in Travelling Man in their small press section, where I went to just yesterday to get some. Generally bright colour, some would say garish, collagey, fun stuff. Also on the fun, Mike Neville, many will remember, legendary news broadcaster, and also an important local superhero who used to fight monkey gods and save the world from evil. Ben Clark, who made these from Spennymoor area, he made more than this particular run. Hilarious, perfect comic timing. So it's not about the perfect kind of like oil-coloured kind of like effects of the frames. It's about the way that you get led by the rhythm of the comic into a good joke over the page. Brilliant, basic but fun comics. This is done by Martin Newman, who's done more than this. I'm going to try and find his Trainee Space Chef and other ones. This was like just a simple black and white one. He's obviously got this kind of like simple kind of like style of characters, but he'll also do other stuff. Oh yeah, this one was drawn at the Tyneside Cinema as part of the 24-hour comic events that I also went to. And it mentions various other people. Paper Jammers will come into play. Radio On, brilliant, well-produced comics, anthologies by different people, some of whom are in the northeast, some of whom are just connected through social links. Mama Lips is also a local comics maker. There's 4 anthologies so far. They cost £4. They're available in Travelling Man, and I bought the whole lot. Generally very well produced as well, and the guy who does them, edited by Rob, what's his surname again? Bob Carter. He's doing good by making these, and they're above the level of skill and artistry and perfection of design that we in the northeast often manage, so good on him. Another absolute kind of local unsung hero and kind of insanely productive self-publishing comics maker is Nigel Morn, who's based over Walsall Innovation. There you go, that's an image of himself. Some are autobiographical, some are just whimsy, and I had to go through these because he includes swear words and adult humour like many of us do, and occasionally I can't have them available for display by kids, so they're brilliant. I recommend reading them. However, I think only one of them doesn't have a 4-letter word in it, and that's all good as well, because comics are a place to express things, and if you're offended by the idea of a leper superhero, it's not for you. But if you've got that sense of humour, this one in particular I really, really love. This one has, I believe, a nipple in as well, so occasionally you've got to make them above child height. This is the first of quite a few made by Jam Comics Collective. We do an anthology, normally 2 a year, based on a theme, something and that. This one, Art and That, was set up by some of the local friends over in Durham, and there was an exhibition, and there's a Willy in this one. Occasionally there's adult stuff in there, and different people normally have 2 pages each to draw, different styles, different sort of technique. Some will be very basic. Most of us are not professional cartoonists who have got a perfect expertise and our particular technique sorted. But if you want to have a go at doing a 2-page comic into an anthology, this is the place to get it published. And some people do very kind of like well-produced, carefully coloured work. It's one by Pauline, that's one of my ones. This was a colour one, suitable for children. One of 2 we've done suitable for kids. The rest have got adult humour and swearies in there. This one was deliberately poo jokes okay, swearies in sex not okay. This is an early one, Robots and That, launched at Star and Shadow a few years back, based on Newcastle. I was not organised to get one into that one, and it's a shame because the cover is very nice, by Gary Bainbridge, who's a really nice local artist who features local architecture. Making in that is a more recent one, distinctive style of a lexicon man there, who's doing the introduction narration. Some very nice work in there from, that's Martin Newman's one, and old and young doing it in their own styles. It's a black and white one. Food and That's, covered by an amazing local artist called Terry Wiley, who I need to get his stuff in here kind of now. He can do any style. He's produced his own long-running kind of series, Petra, etc., Sleaze Castle, Verity Fair, with nice, interesting characters. No blood and guts, no sexual humour, no kind of like awful comic, simplistic kind of humour. Just a nice, interesting story that takes you somewhere else. This is Jack, who's going to be a sketch of the week in a couple of weeks' time. This one is Emily Rose Lambert, who's part of a collective of sisters called the Big Brown Eyes Collective. This again, that's an idle one. Art and That I showed. Bad Decisions in That was maybe our most fun one to do recently, because the idea of a bad decision comic is great. It could be anything. That's the list of contributors, everyone from Britt Coxon, who helped here on Wednesday, to Anton Brand, who's an amazing comics artist who I've not got any of his stuff in yet. Gemma Moody, not got her stuff in here yet. Stephen Flanagan, who says he's never published anything, but I'm sure he has secretly. Mixture of styles. This is black and white, it's one of my ones. That's just a drawing of Nuns Lane, which is just one street over that way behind Wilko's, which I just think is a really eerie, nice lane. That always smells of weed, but somehow I always have to walk through it because it's just an interesting little space. Another anthology, not by Paper Jam. This is one which Terry Wiley has a piece in, and it was about kind of making something for an exhibition in a limited time frame, which is a common device to just get some stuff done. Gary Bainbridge, I mentioned earlier, who draws on that kind of cover. There's lots of kind of nice images of recognisable Newcastle kind of pinnacles, Civic Centre there. He made this really quite interesting, sort of violent, kind of like secret caped crusaders with no capes kind of story based in the Head of Steam in Newcastle and the Cluny and Central Station, called Night Bus. That's an earlier version of it, so that's at least 3 issues and maybe stops. Sugar Glider is his other one, which was like a female kind of like caped crusader, who again had a Newcastle setting and had a different storyline. Escape the Witch, example of a young local kind of artist working out a game design, using comics to work out the plots and to introduce her ideas at a very early level. Slurper Gradient, this is about one of the most forgotten but the most famous of his day kind of comics heroes, called Ali Sloper. This is produced by Alexi Conman, and the artist in this is Terry Wiley, whose stuff we need to get going. In this is imitating different styles. This is one of the Big Brown Eyes Collective. This is Caris Lambert, so Emily's sister, her collection of comics based on university life. They do other ones, sometimes stories, sometimes about their own lives. James Cornell, he kind of cut out the images and stuck them onto other backgrounds as his way of working out how to make comics, and that's got quite a nice little story in there. Food for the Dead is an ambitious little anthology attempt which Martin Newman edited, which was basically having Tyneside as the location for a zombie epidemic. So there's the metro there. So the idea was different collaborators had to do a chapter based on a different survivor's story, not knowing how those survivors would turn out in the end. And it has quite a nice twist at the end, but I can reveal that not every person's character survived. A lot of black and white bloodshed one, very nicely produced anthology of mixture of comics and photo collage and other artworks, some 3D stuff, some computer stuff, including like photography, etc. This one was, the basis was to have a monster to create a bestiary with our different monsters, and various people from North, Tyneside, Newcastle and around produced some really nice beautiful work, and that was displayed in the exchange in North. Now is the science comic Asteroid Belter, which Lydia Wysocki, who runs Applied Comics Inc., overall edited, but loads of us got involved. It was like the biggest thing that happened to Tyneside Comics in probably 20 years because it was paid for, and we were able to kind of like get different artists from across the country to collaborate with local scientists and tell actually kind of real stories. This one's by Anton, I mentioned, Anton Brand. He's got a very good style of drawing. And that's my piece, which is currently up on display in the Baltic, which is dead nice, which is about local scientific and technological kind of inventions and discoveries and pioneering stuff by the likes of Joseph Swan in the city. So we've got about, 60 comics. I'll hopefully double that within a couple of weeks. Get more by Terry Wiley, by Anton, by various other people, by Terps, and this will be available to browse.